So my name is Kayla Burns and I am the president of Strathclyde Students' Union. So what have I been working on recently? Right now our society as a whole is pretty COVID dominated. However, this is particularly heightened for students at the minute, as we're attempting to get ready for next semester with so much uncertainty. So a lot of the work that I've been doing recently has been around these kind of COVID concerns. Probably the biggest concern that I've had from students is around their fees and funding for next semester. The financial impacts of COVID have been massive on students, and regardless, many students have seen their tuition fees increase for this semester, putting them under massive pressure and putting many students in the position where they're questioning whether they actually can return for this semester. I've brought this issue to every corner of the uni and discussed all sorts of options with them to try and find a solution for this. Whether it's fee reductions, scholarships, hardship funds or anything else that can take the pressure off you in this area really. As of right now, we haven't got a solution, but I'm continuing to push the uni on this and get one for you before you need to register and pay your fees for next semester, as so many of you have reached out to us on this. As always, I'll be putting updates about this out in my social media as soon as I get them, so make sure you're keeping an eye out. Another area which I've been working on for a pretty extended period is how accessible the uni is for next semester. COVID poses challenges to many students and even making it to campus next year. Whether you're vulnerable, have vulnerable family members, caring responsibilities, or facing travel restrictions, or just kind of generally anxious about coming onto campus next semester and potentially even moving back to Glasgow. So this is something both myself and the rest of the officers have been extremely vocal on since we've started. Ideally, we're trying to ensure that if you can't make it into uni next semester, that there's still pathways for you to continue with your degree. There are some different challenges depending on what kind of course you're sitting, as some accredited courses require you to participate in things like labs. However, for right now, if you're affected by this, then there are two things that you can do to help get it sorted. Number one, being to get in contact with your course leader so that they can help put in alternative arrangements for you for next semester. Number two, being that you should get in contact with the uni's wellbeing team so that they can support you as well in navigating next semester, whether you have a long-term health condition or are generally anxious or whatever it is that's really kind of preventing you from feeling confident about coming back whenever we need to come back. They can be really brilliant at helping to ensure that the proper provisions are in place for you in your course next semester that you need for you to be successful. So make sure that you're reaching out and utilising those as best as possible. As a part of this, accessibility during COVID is massive. I'm sure by now many of you have navigated complicated one-way systems when you've been out and about. Unfortunately, a few of you might have encountered the issue that some of these one-way routes can be near impossible to navigate if you have mobility impairments. Although the uni is doing a really great job at organising things so that it is as safe as possible for people returning to campus, we've highlighted the importance of considering accessible routes through all of this, and hopefully we should soon see the production of materials such as actual walkthroughs, videos and other resources to make sure that you're prepared and as comfortable as possible when returning to campus on what we already know is a pretty challenging campus in terms of accessibility. Although guidelines don't currently allow it, I'm being ever the optimist, and alongside Rue, our VP community, we've been looking at space options on campus for when societies and student events can potentially return. So that hopefully when we're allowed to do this, we can have you back on campus doing what you love best in as safe as a way as possible. Finally, on a non-COVID related note, myself and Rachel, your VP Inclusion, have been preparing an anti-hate campaign. We're really hoping for this campaign to cover hate in all of its forms, whether it's racism, sexism, sectarianism, homophobia, transphobia, or whatever other forms of hate that you can think of. Over the past few months, we've seen the rise of a really important conversation surrounding hate, and this has drastically impacted many of our students. Whether this is through the Black Lives Matter movement, some really horrific anti-refugee stuff that we've seen in Glasgow in particular, or any other incidents that you've experienced over the past few months. We realise it's really important for us to stand up in solidarity with our students and our communities on these issues, and for us to be seriously committed in tackling them. So we formed partnerships with the organisations Action on Prejudice and Action on Sectarianism to do this, to ensure that we're going to deliver the most impactful campaign as possible, with solid, tangible change as a result. We'd hoped to kick this campaign off during Freshers, however, due to COVID-related issues, we've had to push this back again slightly, although by no means is this in any way less of a priority. So once again, keep an eye out and watch this space. It wouldn't be an update video if I didn't mention sustainability though. But this time, rather than me telling you some bad news about how the world is ending, I have a much more positive note. Myself and Rue have just been accredited as carbon literate, and I'm hoping to get a union sustainability plan in place for the next few years. This is all from me in terms of updates and work going on at the minute, but as always, we are your student union officers, and if there's an issue that you think it's so important for us to tackle, or we could be doing more on, make sure you let us know.